What's going on, everybody? KG here. So we do have some TVs starting to disappear. Some of the TVs that you know and love are about to just get gamaged right out of existence. You won't see them ever again. And the last time for you to buy these TVs is probably around right now or in the next couple of weeks. First one we saw disappear is going to be the S95D 65-inch, and you're going to see more follow suit, and you may have already seen in your area. Maybe you can't find certain ones, but I do want to highlight the 65-inch S95D at Best Buy. And this is something where I had a couple of viewers reach out to me and say, hey, have you seen this? This is $14.99 at Best Buy. This is a great deal. And I said, yeah, that's a really great deal. You're talking about a flagship level TV here for $14.99 in the 65-inch size. So yes, this is a tremendous deal, and it could even get better if you find it open box. As you can see down here, the open box price is $1,000. Potentially, if you're lucky enough to find one of these in your store, or you can just go down here to open box, click it, and see if there's any available in your area. The 55-inch S95D is still available. 77-inch is still $3,000, which I think we have seen it go down to $24.99. So maybe you want to wait on this size particularly. So before we go into everything, let's talk about some of the deals that you can get on other websites before we dive into the Best Buy deals. I'm going to do the Best Buy deals afterwards and pretty much the rest of the video, because this is going to be the easiest way for me to browse, but you could shop at any retailer. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. And if you want some of the better deals, we should cover this right now, that LG does have a special going on where I do have a discount code in the description. Hopefully it still works when you're watching this. You can get a certain percentage off the TV that you're buying from LG. I don't know the exact percentage yet because it does vary. So try it out. You'll be surprised. Sometimes people save like $200 on TV. Alternatively, Samsung does also have some deals going on right now, especially if you want to look into their member section, where if you are a military member or you're part of an employee program that Samsung supports, definitely look into that. You'd be surprised at some of the savings you could get. And also, they do have the trade in your old TV promo going on, where you can save up to $200 by just giving them your old TV. So if you have like a 55-inch Vizio or really anything laying around, they'll take it and they'll give you $200 off of your new TV. So it's a good way to get rid of your old TV and to also buy a new TV at the same time. I want to go over some big news that happened this week with the price drops in terms of the premium TV market. We're talking about a 55-inch Bravia 8 Mark II for $24.99, and the 65-inch is $29.99. This price right here for the 65-inch Bravia 8 Mark II is now cheaper than both the G5 and the S95F. This is something that I really didn't think Sony would do. I've never seen Sony be so aggressive with their pricing, and this is going to be a competitive TV with those. This is something that I am dying to try out myself when I get this TV next to the G5, next to the S95F. I cannot wait for this comparison. How about the 83-inch LG G4 OLED? I get a lot of questions about which 83-inch OLED TV would you choose if you could get one right now. Would probably be this one, just because the G5 is too expensive at the time of filming, and so is the S95F. So this is probably the one that I would target if you're buying exactly right now. If you're going to buy later on, of course, go with either the G5 or the S95F. But I'll say this, even if the S95F 83-inch ends up being good, you do get the 5-year panel warranty with the G series. So it's going to have to be like way better and significantly cheaper for me to want to choose it over the G5 if I'm buying 83 inches. Because if you're buying 83 inches, you kind of want that like extra security, and that 5-year panel warranty will give you that comes with the LG G series. At least that's my logic. Take a look at the other sizes. 77 is $3,000, so the same price as the S95D, and the 65-inch is $23.99. This is one that I would definitely watch for, because if it goes the same way as the S95D, that could happen soon. And so just keep an eye out on this one just in case. 55 inches, $18.99. Once again, if you're buying an OLED TV and you're buying the warranty on it, maybe just think about going with the G4 because you get that 5-year panel warranty included with it. So you don't really have to buy an extra warranty. If you're looking for a mid-range OLED TV 65-inch, this is the pick right here. This is a QD OLED 65-inch TV for $12.99. I don't really think it gets too much better than this at this price range. If you could step your price up, you can get a 77-inch QD OLED. It is pretty rare that you'll find a 77-inch QD OLED TV for this price, so I do think this is a really great deal. Looking for a cheap OLED TV option in a little bit of a smaller size, you got the 48-inch B4. This is consistently around this price lately, so it's not like it's going to be going away anytime soon. Just if you need a TV right now and you need an OLED TV, 48-inch, you can't really go wrong with this one. There's so many OLED TVs, I feel like I am leaving something out. Now, I want to look at some mini LED TVs. Open box is going to be a really good way to look, especially if you are in the budget 55-inch category. You can get a QM7 from last year for around $300 open box if you are lucky enough to find one. So definitely search your open box section for that QM7 from TCL. So the Bravia 9 is $39.99. This is a really good TV. I do think this is a bit pricey for what you're getting because for $500 more, you could get the LG G4, which we just talked about, which is going to come with that 5-year panel warranty. It is going to come with the mount in the box. You get a lot of things with the G4 already in the box, which is nice if you are planning to mount the TV. And then I compared these two TVs last year, and I did think that the G4 was a better purchase than the Bravia 9. Now, I do like the Bravia 9, but that price tag is still a bit too rich for me being a mini LED TV. And that's a big feeling that I have about a lot of the mid-range mini LED TVs is I do feel like when you get into the price range of an OLED TV, we just talked about you could get a 65-inch QD OLED for $12.99. Why would you buy a 65-inch Bravia 7 for $14.99? You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the logic in that personally. So a lot of the mini LED TVs, you know, admittedly, I do just kind of skip over because a lot of them just are not worth your time if you can get an OLED TV for the same price. It's really just science at that point, you know? Like, the self-emissive technology is going to give you better contrast, and the brightness that we're getting out of these modern OLED TVs really don't need too much more than that in this day and age, especially with the way that most films are graded. If you're trying to get a bigger TV at a cheaper budget, then maybe you want to take a look at some of the TCL TVs from last year, some of the Hisense TVs. You know, some people said they can find the QM8 for a little bit cheaper than $11.99. I've heard some people are getting this TV for $8.99, a 75-inch. So definitely check, because I do think it's going to vary from Best Buy to Best Buy, from different locations, maybe not even Best Buy, maybe it's going to be at a different store that's near you. Costco's probably clearancing a lot of stuff out. And then, you know, the Hisense equivalent is the U8, which I did review last year. I actually really like this TV, a 75-inch for $10.99. That's pretty solid overall. A lot of people rave about the QM6K. So if you're looking for a value play, the QM6K is not bad, but that's only if you don't have the QM7 from last year available and the QM8 from last year available, or the U8 or the U7. If those are gone, then the QM6K is definitely going to be in play for some people. So I do want you to make sure like you check for the other TVs first, because last year's TVs are going to be better deals than this year's TVs, especially in this mini LED category. Keep getting questions about the QM8K. I have not seen this TV yet, but I do think that this price tag is not something that I would touch right now. $37.99 is a bit of a stretch. And then the 65-inch, even though it is on sale for $17.99, we're still talking about that's a little bit too much for a 65-inch mini LED TV. Not right now is what I would say. Maybe a little bit later down the line, that might make a little bit more sense. If you need a big TV, a large 85-inch TV, and your budget is only around this price tag right here, $13.99 for an 85-inch TV. I believe this is a BOE ADS panel, which is probably the last time that I seen a BOE ADS panel, because they had this little dispute going on with Samsung, apparently, allegedly. I don't know what was going on with that. We know that they use VA panels again, and I really did think that the ADS panel that they had in this TV was better than the VA panels that they use today. So this is a good TV. It has pretty good viewing angles because it is an ADS panel, and the contrast is surprisingly really good. So it is basically a 2-year-old TV at this time. I think that might about cover it for the TV deals that are available right now. And if you want to see a follow-up video talk about the 4th of July deals once they hit, make sure you do leave that in the comments, because if you do like these kind of videos, you gotta make sure you let me know. So hit the like button, leave a comment. That's gonna be the best way to let me know that I should make more of these videos. If you guys are taking advantage of any of these deals, I would appreciate if you guys use one of the links in the description. Those are affiliate links, so you can pick your favorite retailer and shop from there. And at the same time, you'll be supporting me. So thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.